everybody. This is Nick Ebelhair from the University of Evansville Bass Fishing Team. Just take a moment to talk about the Lake Pickwick tournament, which was the ACA National Championship. There was 126 teams in this tournament, and we ended up finishing 10th. So a little bit about how our tournament went. Practice, I got down there Sunday, and the tournament was Thursday, Friday, so spent 3 or 4 days practicing and basically committed to the ledge fishing, because that time of year typically ledge fishing dominates the tournaments, or wins the tournaments anyways. People can catch them shallow, but if you really want to win the tournament, you have to fish deep. So I spent a lot of time graphing and never really found a whole lot. Pretty new to ledge fishing, so I was basically learning all week how to find them on my Humminbird depth finder. But basically the fish that we were trying to find on the ledges weren't really out to the ledges yet. They were pretty shallow still, and it was a little early. Cold front came through and messed it up. So a lot of the fish I was finding on the ledges were scattered out and not really grouped into schools. There were some teams that found some big schools, but I didn't really find that until the last hour of practice. Last hour of practice, we pulled up on a community hole and caught 2 keepers on back-to-back cast, and they were just 15-16 inches, but that was the best thing we found all practice, since it was such a rough practice. So that was where we were going to start, and we ended up going there. After we hit one little spot the first day, we ended up going there basically first thing, and pulled in there. There was one other boat, but we ended up catching five keepers right in front of them. So they ended up leaving after they saw us catch 5, and we just kept fishing there, and we had 5 for about 15 pounds or 14 pounds or whatever, and camera boat come up on us and decided to start videotaping us a little bit, and we needed one big one to really upgrade our bag for that day. So Lee and I looked at each other like, we gotta catch a big one while the camera boat's on us, and sure enough, I mean, not 10 minutes later, a real big fish come up schooling, and I put a video of it, GoPro video, on Facebook, but real big fish come up schooling, and I reached down for my topwater bait and I didn't have it on, so I ended up picking the football jig back up again and ended up catching that fish, and he weighed 5.82, so not quite 6 pounds, but that was our biggest fish of the day. And I caught that one on this homemade football jig. Second day rolls around, and we had just shy of 19 pounds the first day, so we went back to the same spot. And the second day is a lot tougher. The fish were a lot more scattered out. They didn't group up like they were the first day, and we ended up having to adjust a little bit. We caught 4 keepers there, and actually I had another 5-pounder that come up busting again. I caught it with a football jig again, so that helped out a lot. And I caught a 4-pound smallmouth, but we only had 4 keepers by about 11 o'clock, and we had to make another run, and that was like 40 miles from takeoff. So our main ledge was 25 miles from takeoff, but we had to run even farther just to catch keepers, and we caught two 15-16 inchers there at the end of the day, and upped our weight to about 15 pounds, and we ended up finishing in 10th place. So all in all, that was my last one of those tournaments I'll be fishing. So we had a good time, and caught all our fish, basically fishing slow moving baits on those ledges. A lot of guys were cranking and things like that. We couldn't get bit that way, so we were throwing 3/4 ounce football jig, which this is the homemade one that I make at home, and also a 10-inch Berkeley power worm, motor oil color. We caught a big fish on day one doing that, but most of our fish, as far as numbers, came on a Carolina rig brush hog, and for that we were using 3/4 ounce egg sinker and about a 3-foot leader. I had like 15-pound test, I think, for my main line, and then 12-pound Berkeley 100% fluorocarbon as my leader. Other than that, I mean, we had a great time, and ended up using some of that to help us out at Kentucky Lake a few weeks later. So learned a lot about ledge fishing and had a great time. Thanks for watching, and thanks to all our sponsors: Jasper Engines, Pure Fishing, Elite Tungsten, Tackle Warehouse. Obviously the University of Evansville is our biggest sponsor. They help out with a lot of funding, and we wouldn't be able to do these tournaments without them. So thanks again to our sponsors and everybody who supports us throughout the years.